situation. So what I need you to do, get your neighbor by the hand. Get your neighbor by the hand. And let that neighbor know whatever you're going through, if we turn it over to him, can I tell you what he'll do? God will. God will. God will. God will. I was going through a situation in my life, and I didn't know what to do. But can I tell you what he did? He stepped in my situation. Good God. Stepped in my situation. Stepped in my situation. Anybody in here know God will work it out for you? Can you give him a work it out for you? Hey! Hey! That divorce you may be going through, that sickness in your body, pain rocking all night long. Can I tell you? Yeah, God will. God will. God will. God will. What he doing? What he doing? What he doing?
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
It is now time for the New Life Show featuring Dr. Cheryl Armstrong every Thursday. Now, let's go live into the studio.
Welcome to the New Life Pastoral Care Show hosted by Dr. Cheryl Armstrong. I'm filling in for her for today. Anthony Johns filling in from Warner Robins, Georgia. If you need counseling services, please contact Dr. Cheryl Armstrong at 478-449-0167. Once again, that number is 478-449-0167. Welcome to the New Life Pastoral Care Show. And I love that song that was actually being played, that God will work it out, that God will work out your situation, God will work out your mistakes, God will work out your personal trauma. And if you need counseling services, once again, contact Dr. Cheryl Armstrong at 478-449-0167. Once again, that's New Life Pastoral Care Services. And if you need therapy pertaining to life situations or to a life crossroad that you may be going through, just remember that God is in control, that God is giving you hope in a hopeless situation, that God can give you light in a dark situation, that God can turn your life around like never before. And once again, if you need counseling services, that number is 478-449-0167. Once again, that number is 478-449-0167. I would like to thank the WDDO 980 listeners driving in their cars after work or maybe going to work. Thank you so much for tuning in. And also, I would like to thank Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. Please share, repost, like, reshare, repost, because in this new month that's coming up, that's the fall season, and to know that you are moving in a new season of life, that the fall season, that things are beginning to change and transform in your life. If you need a transformation life coaching class, if you need for your life to be changed and coached into victory, going from failure to wins, going from disappointments to opportunities. I do believe in Dr. Cheryl Armstrong counseling services. Her case study clients have said that their lives have never been the same as health coaching. If you need coaching pertaining to your health, weight loss, to understand your mind, body, and soul, and knowing that your body is a temple, contact Dr. Cheryl Armstrong at 478-449-0167. New Life Pastoral Care Services. Once again, if you ever been through trauma, if you have had any mental identity breakdowns, trying to find out who you are in God, I would recommend Dr. Cheryl Armstrong at New Life Pastoral Care Services. And once again, many of us have been through trauma. We have been through breakups and trying to learn how to live life again, but to live a better life. And knowing that with our faith in God and having a faith-based counselor, Dr. Cheryl Armstrong can actually move you going from trauma to victory. And many people probably have asked, was there PTSD or was there any trauma in the Bible? And in the biblical theology of well being, trauma is defined as a sudden and life threatening event which produce painful memories that overwhelms one ability to cope. And if you're having any coping issues, if you need help to learning how to cope and how to move from bad thoughts to good thoughts, contact New Life Pastoral Care Services, located 589 Coral Vincent Parkway. Dr. Cheryl Armstrong, 478-449-0167. What does the Bible say about trauma? Determine how they coped with the suffering they endured. And from these clues, start the process. Determining a biblical theology of well being. Trauma involves, once again, sudden and life threatening event. So, how can we connect that to a biblical sense? Isaiah 41:10. Fear not, I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. And we have to understand that God is in power of our lives. Doesn't matter what you could be going through. It doesn't matter how you are going through it. And it doesn't matter where you have been in life. When God upholds you, he can turn your life around. First Peter 5:7 says, casting all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. You have to understand that you may be going through anxiety and you may be feeling panicky or nervous or fearful. But if you cast all of your anxieties on him, he will care for you. He cares to pick up and lift you up out of anxiety. Then the Lord cried in their trouble, and he delivered them from their distress. We could go through stress at home, stress in our families, on the jobs, but God can deliver you. Psalm 107:13-16. And as you already know, that God is your God in the midst of your weakness, that he will empower you. And not only that, I believe in having a covering, a therapy covering, and counseling covering, a counselor that can cover you in prayer. Dr. Cheryl Armstrong is the counselor that can pray you through the pain and that can counsel you out of your anxieties. Once again, that number is 478-449-0167, WDDO 980 AM, 107.9 FM to our Facebook listeners. And to Crystal Johns that just logged in, nothing like the living scriptures begin activated in your life. Once those scriptures are activated in your life, you will see a manifestation to come out of being sick and you see yourself healed. And once you be able to see yourself healed, you will walk in your calling of healing and blessings. Once again, if you need counseling services, please contact Dr. Cheryl Armstrong. Once again, that number is 478-449-0167. If you need counseling pertaining to trauma, anxiety, pain, sickness, and you have to understand that God will cover you in prayer once you activate your faith by connecting with the Word of God. Psalm 34:4 says, I sought the Lord, and he answered me and delivered me from all my fears. I believe that you can be delivered from fear, pain, and anxiety if you seek the Lord. And if you can seek a counselor that can seek the Lord on your behalf when you feel like your faith have been paralyzed due to death, loss, and disappointments and closed doors, you can become dead spiritually in your faith, but alive physically. I would say you could be existing but not living. If you want to live again in your mind, body, and soul, if you want your family to be resuscitated from being broken and paralyzed and stuck in one place and stuck in a place of laziness and stuck in a place of just contending and being relaxed and stagnant with the same situation over and over. It's time to move to a new direction, to seek the Lord, and he will answer you and deliver you from all of your fears. I will restore to you the years and the swarming locust has eaten. The happier the destroyer and the cutter. My great army, which I sent among you, Joel 2:25, for the years that you feel like you have lost in pain. It's time for you to say, God, I'm going to allow you to restore unto me the years that I have lost. I'm going to allow you to restore my mind, my body, my soul. I want restoration in the midst of having an identity crisis or breakdown in trauma. And sometimes in life, we can receive news and we can become confused about who we are in God, love, and humility and humbleness. But you got to understand that the Lord is your shepherd and you shall not want. It doesn't matter what path you could be going on, but God is so awesome. And today in the studio, I am happy to bring on this beautiful woman. She is remarkable. Um, Dr. Berta Ward is a person that can relate to trauma, that can relate to identity. But not only that, she is a person that can let you know that her entire life have been based on faith, even when she have had some new chapters in her life, new crossroads in her life. That she actually is the first known transracial adoptee and founder. She has created a scholarship project called 70 Years of Blackness. Dr. Verda Board is a person that have traveled to London to tell her story on the Great Britain News. Imagine growing up your entire life and not knowing who you really are. Well, that's the story of Dr. Verda Bird, a woman who was raised as a black woman, but 70 years later, she discovered that her biological parents were actually white. She has since discovered that hers was the first known transracial adoption where the parents were black and the adoptee was white. Dr. Vertebord has been featured on Great Morning Britain. She has been featured on the TD show USA Today. Hello, Dr. Vertebord. How are you doing today?
Good morning, good morning, good afternoon. Doing pretty good. Where
It is,
can you see me? Huh?
yes, I can see your beautiful face. And I'm so happy you are in the studio today. and you have an interesting story to tell. And I wanted you on this show because you can inspire so many people that have had identity crossroads in their life. And I am so happy that you are on the show on today. You may just have to lower your camera just a little bit. I see your
Lower.
glasses,
Yeah.
and
There we
yes,
go.
you're
Okay. Stand
yes.
there and hold it. Okay.
Yes, I can see
Got
you
it.
now. You are looking beautiful today. I am so happy to have you on the show. And Dr. Vorderboard, we have had many discussions in the last couple of weeks following up to this interview. And you have been a source of inspiration as, how can I say this, loving God on a human level, but yet being physical in your identity when you have found out um, a particular news about yourself. And I'm sure that was a life changing moment. And I would love for you to tell your story um, on WDO 980 AM.
First of all, I want to say good afternoon to Macon, Georgia.
Oh,
I'm
thank
in
you.
San Antonio. I'm in San Antonio, Texas. Um, Things get bigger and better in Texas.
Yes, it is.
Okay, to start out a little bit, you introduced me as the first known transracial adoptee, and this was back in the late 40s, 1947, that I was officially adopted by my black adopted parents. I was born in Kansas City, Missouri, of white biological parents, and they loved me enough to give me up for a better life. So that's what I want to talk about a few minutes today, is from making love a way of life. So, how to be a great lover. Now, it's not that I'm talking about our persons. I'm talking about how do we love ourselves? How do we love others? And how do we want others to love us? To love ourselves, we have to really, really like ourselves first, and then we grow into loving ourselves if we're guided and taught the best of our parents' teachings. If we accept what they teach us, if we try to practice what we learn, we can have a good life. But a lot of times people ignore what the parents taught them. A lot of kids don't want to hear what the parents say. So the love can be owed in different ways by parents and children. The children have to be willing to learn how to love their parents. And the parents, they should love the children because they can't just give them back at Walmart. This is
Yes.
a forever, if I, in my documentary, it says, you know, the throwaway babies.
Yep.
Um, and they could exchange. Back in the day, if the child didn't fit your lifestyle, you could take it back and exchange for another child. Well, not nowadays. Not you shouldn't even consider taking a child back because you love the child enough in the first place to want to adopt the child.
Yes.
So, we cherish caring. We have to care. And we have to learn. We have to be able to understand why you don't love me and why I don't love you. But and we have to have reasons why. But if you don't understand, if you don't like yourself, then you certainly can't love other people. And there's ways of loving other people. We have to learn. We have to learn what we like and what we don't like. And if we don't do that ourselves, the other people can get real ugly with us, and we can get real ugly with them. But you've got to be able to share. You've got to be able to be trustworthy. You got to have everyone trusting you that you want to trust them. And I just want to say DNA does not make a family. It's love that makes a family, not DNA. You can have 100 DNAs,
Mhm.
but it's not the DNA. Yes, they can tell you your ancestors, but they can't tell you who you love. You know, children to learn. They have to learn from their parents, and they have to want to be in a loving family. You know, we want to make friends, but we've got to learn to care, and we've got to love. If money makes you happy, giving money, well, give money. Love is free, but you can be free. You can be free with your free love. Don't cost you nothing.
Yes.
It doesn't cost you a thing. But you know, we've got to share our love and our concern and respect to mama and daddy and other family members. So that's
Wow.
my take on love.
Wow. And I would love to ask you, when you mention love, I it sounds like a beautiful mini sermon about your life, and I love that. How did you begin to um, still keep that same focus after you found out about who you are through your DNA, but knowing that I remember you mentioned to me it really doesn't matter. You know, we should still love and have faith in, and still love everyone as in, like as a human. What made you keep following that same path?
Well, my my biological parents, they weren't they didn't have a lot of money, and they were kind of financially poor. So the love that they had for me as a baby carried that was the beginning of me learning accepting their love, for me to for them to sign my adoption documents to give me up for a better life. And then my adopted parents, they loved me enough to teach me. They loved me enough for me to learn what kindergarten through college.
Wow.
They guided me. They guided me. They taught me right from wrong. You know, there's so many youngsters now. They yes, we all make mistakes, but we should learn from our mistakes and try to realize if we make choices, we have to suffer the consequences.
Mhm.
So that's the way
And
I see it.
and I love when you mention about how DNA doesn't make you a family, but love. And if we look in biblically, God was the source of the Father's person of Jesus' DNA, and we know that God is the Father. And I would like to encourage someone who's probably saying, "Well, I never experienced a father or a mother. I was adopted, and I've been in foster care system all of my life." Um, Once you begin to connect with God the Father, knowing that God was protecting you and was covering your spiritual journey and your physical journey, I think that love that you find from God, and to know that DNA doesn't make you a family, but God is the source of your covering, of your protection, and your journey, Dr. Bird, is so incredible. And how are you um, planning to live your new life and your new dreams and your new visions? What do you have envisioned for yourself for the near future?
Well, at this point, my documentary called 70 Years of Blackness has been a very successful documentary film. Anybody can see it free on Tubi TV.
Yes.
But I have started a scholarship project for young adults aging out of the foster care system
Wow.
because they're 18. They need to learn a skill. Everybody doesn't want to go to college. Everybody doesn't want to go in the military. So my scholarship project focuses on uh, them learning a skill or a trade, like going to trade school, going to barbershop, learning a skill, nail shop, floors. That's what my scholarship project is focusing on. And the only thing now that I that I wonder how I'm going to find 80 years of whiteness.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
I've had 70 years of blackness, and they say I'm white. The paperwork said all adoption, I'm white now. Well, how in the world am I going to find 80 years of whiteness? Yes, I haven't missed nothing
Nope.
because I've had a very good
Not.
life.
And,
But I
and
haven't, I've yet to try to figure out what white privileges are. I
exactly.
can't figure it out. Because
Exactly.
I've lived in Japan, I've lived in Tokyo, Japan. I've lived in Germany. I've had a good life.
Yes.
So maybe somewhere, some day, I might see what 80 years of whiteness would be like. But I'm not really changing my life, and I'm not going backwards to find something I missed.
I love that. And if there's any callers that want to call in, the number is 478-250-1444, 478-250-1444. And Dr. Verda Bard is here with us today as an inspiration for young and old people that could be dealing with finding out who they are, overcoming trauma, overcoming a crossroads. And Dr. Vertibord, I really believe like your documentary, your movie was so awesome. I know we have about 2 minutes left, and I will let you in on the last 2 minutes on what what motivated you to come out with this doc, and you won so many awards, nominated for so many films.
Well, when I got my adoption documents from 70 some years ago, I could have shredded them, but I
Yes.
chose I didn't want to ignore them. I didn't want to shred them. So I said, okay, mentally, I have to accept what these words are saying. I have to be able to mentally accept the
Mhm.
change. My name changed, my culture changed, my race had changed. I had two mamas today. I had to accept what these papers, documents were saying. So
Yes.
as a result, after I got over PTSD, I,
Mhm.
I decided, well, adoption is an ongoing thing forever.
Wow,
So
that
things
is
don't really
true.
change.
Thank you so much, Dr. Borderboard, for coming in. I would like to have you on again because when you say that DNA doesn't make you a family, but love does. And for the WDDO listeners, 980 AM, I want everyone to walk in love today. Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, according to his great mercy, to know that Jesus Christ has risen from the dead, who's by God's power being guarded through faith for our salvation, ready to be revealed. God wants to reveal his love to you. God wants to show you that his power can overcome any crossroads in your life. Remember, WDDO, Walk in Love. Thank you so much, Dr. Ford from San Antonio, Texas. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You've been listening to Dr. Cheryl Armstrong, the New Life Show. That's here every Thursday, same time, same place. WDDO 980, 107.9 FM.